Hello everyone, I'm Wisconsin elder law and estate planning attorney Vince Hein, and in this video I'm going to talk about whether rental property should go into a trust or should they go into an LLC. And so let me explain. The reason we use LLCs is for asset protection purposes. So sometimes people can go a little bit overboard on these, but if you have a rental property, you put it into your LLC, and then if your renter sues you, hopefully you have insurance as well, but then they can't get past the assets in that LLC. And there's a lot of different ways to set these things up. You can have a holding company, you can have an LLC that is just a company that operates or sort of manages the rentals but doesn't really hold much. But generally you want an LLC for your rentals because that's what's going to protect you in the event of a lawsuit. And then what we do is your LLC will have membership interests, basically like shares of stock, but it's an LLC, not a corporation. And then those membership interests, if you do a trust, for example, we would assign those to the trust for purposes of estate planning. So that's how we deal with LLCs versus a trust and kind of have that discussion. So an LLC is, now I should also note, an LLC can be used from an estate planning perspective. We do have, cabin LLCs and things like that, but generally not for rental properties. And some people put, for every rental, it gets its own LLC. But I also know people who don't have them in LLCs, and I, quite frankly, I can't seem to convince them otherwise, even though there's a very strong sense of logic for doing one. Protect your assets, don't let them go after your personal property. And LLCs, quite frankly, they generally don't break the bank. So rental properties generally are going to be put in an LLC, not into a trust. One exception I'll bring up is if we're doing Medicaid planning and we're doing some Medicaid asset protection planning, and my clients really want to keep those rental properties, we can absolutely put those in an irrevocable trust at that point, right? So if you're going to do more of an asset protection approach from the nursing home, then putting the rental properties into an LLC can make some sense. However, though, a lot of people who have rental properties simply aren't going to be the type who are going to need Medicaid later because their net worth is going to be pretty high, in which case then, put that rental property into an LLC, not into a trust. So lots of different flavors here, but the general rule I want you to take away is rental properties go to LLCs, not trusts, with some modest exceptions. I'm Wisconsin elder law and estate planning attorney Vince Hein, and I hope you found this video useful.